5 to 7 minutes.
Do I have an evaluator?
You do.
Diego.
Oh, that's right. You guys wrote that. Please welcome home. Excellent. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to talk about a controversial topic. I want to have a little talk with you about religion.
Oh.
And suddenly everyone's heart falls. Oh, God. It's got to be a religion talk. But let's have we're adults, right? We're adults here. So let's have a talk about religion. So as I look out over my audience, I think, well, these people are probably somewhat religious, right? That's great. Now, the interesting question, and I see a diverse audience here, how many of these people have the same religious views? How many people on either Friday or Saturday or Sunday, whenever they go to wherever they do whatever for their religion, look around and go, wow, this is like a Toastmasters meeting because I recognize everybody? Nobody. So nobody seems to attend the same service. Okay, that's fine, that's cool. So what that probably tells me is that everybody has a different view of religion. That's a little bit weird. Couldn't we just come up with one view of religion? Agree that it's right, and then just everybody share the same view? Right? That would certainly make things simpler. You know, the Middle East has a bunch of like crazy people running around with their own religious views, and they seem to be certainly very dedicated to their religious views because they do crazy things because of it. But I would say that their religious views are definitely different than mine, and I would argue that perhaps their religious views are different than yours, hopefully. Okay? So this religious thing starts to get a little bit messy real quick, which is interesting. So maybe we should back up for just a moment and say, so what is religion? I mean, it's a powerful word. It's a loaded word. It's a very sensitive word. Culturally, we get all crazy about it. Well, what is religion? And I would propose to you that religion is simply a desperate attempt on mankind's part to answer two questions. And they're very simple questions. The very first question is, why am I here? I'm a thinking, cognizant person. I get up in the morning, I do stuff during the day, I go to sleep at night. Is there a reason? Is there something that I should be doing? Is there a reason for me to exist? And then the second question, and perhaps even more the loaded one, is this it? Is this all there is? I'm looking at a lifespan of 82, 78, 85 years, something like that. I am born, I will live, and assuming I don't get hit by a Winnebago at some point in time, I will eventually draw my last breath, and then what? If there's 70 virgins waiting for me, I am beyond thrilled. I don't have to make it to 85 at that point in time. 82, 83, and I'm out of there, okay? But it's interesting, because every religion that you can subscribe to, because I really view religions as being subscriptions. I view religions as being very much like subscribing to a newspaper. Okay, you subscribe to the newspaper, it starts showing up on your front porch every day. That's fantastic. You get it, you read it, you take in the news, you agree or disagree with what they have to say, but that is your communication tool. If you decide you do not like that religion, is it a big deal? No, no deal whatsoever. Actually, in this country, it's not a big deal whatsoever. You turn off that subscription and you can subscribe to another religion, and they will throw their newspaper on your desk, on your porch every day. And by the way, if you choose not to subscribe, that's perfectly okay too. You don't get any newspapers thrown on your porch, and that's fine too. There's no problems with that whatsoever. All right, so we got two questions. Why am I here? And what happens afterwards? Is this it? Is this life it? Is this the only life I have? I exist for my 85 years, and then when I'm done, that's it. It's all over. Great questions. We've got fabulous, wonderful scientists. Scientists who do all sorts of investigations, and they have not been able to answer either one of those questions for us. And that's why religion steps in. Religion says, listen, we're going to come up and give you answers to both of those. If you subscribe to our religion, we will tell you why you're here, what you're supposed to be doing, and by the way, we'll tell you what happens after this life and perhaps what you have to do during this life in order to achieve what comes afterwards. Okay. Well, what's interesting is we have an almost unlimited number of religions. We've got the standard ones, okay? The big ones, the big three, so to speak, okay? But we've got an infinite variety of other ones too. You pick which one best appeals to you. Now, you may or may not have a religion. And if you have a religion, the question is why? Did you go out and do some research? Did you say, I'm going to go to the library, I'm going to look up religions, I'm going to identify what they believe in, I'm going to figure out who best... And the answer is probably no. The answer is probably, well, Mom and Dad had a religion, and they shared it with me, and well, that's my religion, and I just go for that, right? And that's cool. There's no problems with that. And the reason there's no problems with that is because which religion is correct, and the answer is nobody knows. Okay, Nobody can tell you which religion is correct. So this brings up a very interesting point. Majority of religions all believe in some sort of higher power. You can call the higher power whatever you want. Oftentimes they call the higher power God. Okay? And it's just some sort of power that creates things. It can also destroy things, depending on which religion you have and stuff like that. So that's cool. It's cool to have a higher power, because all of a sudden you got somebody to answer to, right? Whoops, I'm sorry, didn't need to, whatever, okay? It's all good stuff like that. But a very interesting thing is, if you've got this higher power, shouldn't the higher power be showing up? Shouldn't we have an obelisk someplace where, the higher power hangs out and you go say hi to the obelisk? Or shouldn't we be having burning bushes all over the places? Shouldn't God be in your life every day? Which is what all the religions say probably should be happening, right? The interesting question I have for you, is God in your life every single day? And people often will go, yes, God's in my life every day. And I say, great. Where? Where's God? So today's Wednesday, yesterday was Tuesday. Where was God in your life on Tuesday? On Tuesday, yesterday, where was God? Did you bump into God yesterday? You're driving down the road, whoa, it's God! Whoa, almost hit you, sorry. It's God, so it's not that big of a deal. Interesting question for you. All right, this is where things get a little bit tricky, but stay with me. Does God have ears? Does God physically have ears? Okay, your belief in God is that God is some sort of super being. God can hear everything. God can hear your thoughts, right? Does God need ears? God doesn't need ears. Which gets to the next question. Does God have eyes? Well, what are our eyes? Our eyes allow us to see the visible spectrum, all this sort of stuff like that, but we can't see infrared, we can't see ultraviolet. They're not that great. So does God have eyes? No. I don't think God has. God doesn't need eyes. God can see infinitely and into our hearts and stuff like that. God doesn't need no eyes. Keep going with me now, son. Does God have a nose? Doesn't have eyes, doesn't have ears. God doesn't need no nose. Probably doesn't have fingers. Probably doesn't have toes. Doesn't need to have limbs. I'm not sure what's going on with this God guy, but he does not look like us. So if God's in your life, and God's in your life, what the heck does God look like? Well, God chooses not to reveal himself to... What? Wait! He's an infinite being that's been around for at least 13.8 billion years, and you don't know what he freaking looks like? I want to leave you with a final thought here. I believe that God's in my life. I believe that I interact with God every single day, and I think I know exactly what God looks like. So let me share this with you. The universe was created in a gigantic bang. We like to call it the Big Bang. It's basically a release of energy, right? We're pretty comfortable with that. That started everything. I would argue that's probably what God is. God might be bigger than our universe. God might take on a lot of thousand different forms. But I'm going to say that in our universe, God is present, and God is present in the form of energy. Do you have energy inside you? Is there something that makes your heart beat? Is there something that makes your brain go? Is there something that gives you, electrical paths? And the answer is yeah, you got electricity in you. You got enough electricity to generate power like a 20-watt bulb. Well, if you've got energy in you, then maybe that's God in you. That's pretty cool stuff, right? What does energy look like? I got no freaking clue. But good news, I don't know what God looks like either. So perhaps those are two questions that come together. Mr. Toastmaster.